What's up, and welcome to my walkthrough for my Vanilla Jam. We got 4 voices going on here, so let me break them down. Here's the main voice, sound all coming from the Minibrute 2S. Let's take a look at it here. We got a sequence going through here, but those pitches are first being sent into the Bard Quartet, so I can have a little fun with them. Even though this does its own quantization, it worked to do some cool things with the Bard if I sent it through there first. One of the other interesting, before I jump into the most interesting thing about this voice, one other thing I'm doing is I have LFO2 here, controlling the cutoff through the attenuator here to give some interest in here. That's something that's normal through there as it goes through that, but let's get to what's actually interesting about this. Where the interest lies on this part is on the velocity track here. So with this one, I have the velocity out going to the transpose in of my Bard Quartet, with that being a transposing it's hard to see, I don't know if you can see which ones are actually lit up here, but transposing before it goes into the quantizer here. And then what I did is on this velocity track, I have it set to the 2 volts, and I just kind of scrolled through and found settings that sounded interesting and musical. You can see I'm just running these first 8 steps here, but on these 4 steps here, I have saved ones that I really liked. So then what I can do is I can copy one of these guys, like this guy, and then paste that again in this first spot over here. Paste. And now when it hits that spot, let's give it a little, open that up a little more. So now it's transposed up, and you'll notice it actually has a different shape to the melody, because in that low one, that kind of root one that I use the most, the notes were not sensing the change because they were so close to the pitches, or the changes were not detected by didn't make it through the quantizer. So then I've got these other ones. Here's another one here, and again, the neat thing about this is it waits to make the change until it hits that first spot. So I really like this way of doing these transpositions. Then I can copy this main guy again and bring this back to the first one. So that's the main first voice, and then that's being mixed together with the next voice and sent through my effects aid. It's also it's being mixed in here, so I can turn that down here. And then the high voice here, just this little high voice, all through the Mavis. It's the sound of the Mavis. It's getting its pitch through the Bard Quartet here. Right now it's just only locked into a C though. And the input from that is actually this LFO2 that's controlling the cutoff from my other voice. And it's basically just giving me some octave jumps on this first harmony setting. Or on other times, I have it spread out more and I get more of this. So that's all just on this first set of the harmony here. I'll explore the second ones in just a moment, but that's basically all it's doing. It's just that one pitch just kind of droning on our tonic above all this, sometimes jumping between things. So let's take a look at what's going on in this Bard Quartet here, because I do have 2 other harmonies set up. So this first one is the one I spent most of the time on, where I've got my main voice exploring C minor, and then I've got my second voice just on the root. But when I flip over to the second harmony, suddenly now voice 1 just has the C, jumping a couple octaves there, but this one has more notes in it. So when I turn up this high voice and I open up this attenuator 1 so the LFO2 comes out clearer, I end up with some interesting things, especially when I turn it on to stepped random. So this is controlled by LFO 2 here, attenuated here in attenuator 1, which is opening the cutoff here as well for my main voice, but now it's giving me this interesting scale up here. And then if I go to harmony 3 here, it's kind of the same setup, but now I'm going to be on a big F chord instead, F minor chord. So my main voice is just growling away on an F, and everything else is jumping around an F chord, giving a little harmonic movement. And then everything comes back to this guy. So that's my main two voices. Mainly proud of the transposition stuff that was happening with this first voice and the interest that came from that, and being able to get that synced with the music by always having it change that one right there. But being able to kind of pick and choose which one I want to use as I go with that. So both of those sounds then are mixed together over here in my, I think that's what I'm mixing over here. And then being sent into the FX aid, which is on a delay into reverb. And then the left and right channels are getting mixed in maths, and down here in this mini mixer down here with the percussion stuff before it gets sent to the ears so that the percussion can stay nice and dry. So percussion wise, I have a voice that is primarily kind of noise percussion. Let's bring that in here. So what's happening here is I've got channel 3 of my variegate pinging the low of my Three Sisters, which is at a pretty high resonance. And then that's being sent out the high and low into a passive mixer, or into a passive mult. The manual for Three Sisters says you can mix them together with this. I was just now realizing as I was thinking this through that I actually worked some of these outputs into that mix as well by using this attenuator. So hopefully I'm not messing anything up in my Mavis, but I think it'll all handle it well. So the low output and the high output passively mixed together, and then sent into my hexagram VCA. So let me bring in the high noise stuff. So into the high pass, I've got the noise from my Minibrute going in there. And then both of those are being controlled by my gates from my variegate here, I believe. So these gates from my variegate channel 2 here are triggering maths channel 1. As you can see there, that little envelope is controlling my VCA here. But then also I have my LFO 1 on stepped random, and that is controlling both the fall time as well as the FM of this to kind of give me the higher and lower sounds that last longer and shorter. And then if I found that if I turn this down some, I get more of the plucky pings. And if I turn this up all the way, I get mostly the noise stuff. And then my channel 4 of my variegates just triggering plats in bass drum mode, and we get this jamming with it. So again, those dry sounds are just mixed together in maths and in this little mixer with the left and right channels of the other things coming out of the FX aid and then into the ears. So here we go. So there you go. I really enjoyed my way of creating a way to transpose it when I want to by having these copy and paste things set up so that it would always kick off on the downbeat of a measure, and a neat way to kind of explore that and see where it goes. Yeah, hope you enjoyed.